Greetings friends and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share with you the second part of greenhouse repair. That's right, we already got the wall done last week, and if you're looking for that video you can probably find it right up there. But if you want to see what I'm going to do with the roof and this rolled polycarbonate that I picked up from Amazon, well, that's this video. So you'll get to see me replace a farm plastic kind of a roof with a more rigid kind of rollable polycarbonate, and it'll still allow for plenty of light transmission, but it's going to be a little more solid and it's less likely to be damaged by the extreme winds that we have when we get storms here. So thanks for checking out that garden place and this particular video. Stick around and subscribe, why don't you? So this, of course, is the obligatory before shot, where as you can see, we suffered quite a bit of damage to this roof. It's almost entirely ripped away, and whenever we have any kind of wind, it just flaps in the breeze. So hopefully we'll solve all that today. Now, if you're unfamiliar with how these farm plastic systems work, it's basically just these rails that have a wiggle wire in them. And if you want to know more about that for a shade house or for a greenhouse, you can check out the last video or part 1 of this repair series. One of the things I didn't want to do is take out my rain gutters, but in order to get to the track and to the area I need to replace this roof, I'm gonna have to take down my rain gutters. What a mess. Whenever you do anything in the desert Southwest, you're doing it early in the morning because otherwise it's too darn hot to do anything, and that's a real problem. So let's get started. Here we go. And of course, all this work in the greenhouse is being done, well, in an active greenhouse. So I've got lots of these vegetative vines from the tomato trees that I have that I'm gonna have to contend with all day long.
later.
All right, let's get into our second roll of roofing, finally, after a 2-week delay. So I guess this is parts 2 and 3 that you're watching today. Hopefully that's it, and we'll be able to be done with this project and on to others, because the garden needs tending. All right, we've rolled out our roofing material, and now we simply have to screw it in. So it's a little easier to get through this plastic if you drill through it first, even if you have self-tapping screws. So we're going to drill out our hole, and then we'll follow that up with getting the rest of this pulled taut at the other end, and then screwing it into place. So we want about an inch overlap between the two different materials. Again, they're actually technically the same material, but I want to get at least an inch overlap and well onto our rain drip. So we got about an inch. Gonna drive our screw. First we'll drill a pilot hole through the material, and then we'll fit it into place. With the right bit. Oh, if it's not one thing, it's another. Now in my drill, I have a magnetic bit holder so that I can quickly swap my bits without re-chucking it every time. It saves a little bit of time if you don't forget the bit in the first place. Now we got that nice and secured. Give it a couple more. Whew. It's already toasty. 100 something in the desert. Crazy. Not the kind of overlap I was hoping for. Some of that could be the previous roll not lining up good. Some of it could be this material shipped from China. Wasn't exactly cut square, because I mean, who would expect that? All right. Whew. There we go. I'll get you up here in a second to take a look at my work.
Two weeks later.
If only the weather would cooperate, things would be better. So we are on the day 3 and the last row of plastic finally. After 3 weeks of trying just about everything to get this done, we finally reached the point with which we can get it done. So let's screw this in and be finished. For every project you take on as a property owner, always expect it to be 3 times more time consuming than you planned for, and that there will be mistakes made along the way. That way, you're never disappointed or surprised. Ooh. Had a little bit of curling up here due to sun and and wind and rain, which means at some point we're going to have to install some battens. Maybe this winter when it's a little bit nicer outside. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it is not going to be nice today. And there we have it. After weeks of delays and 3 sheets of rollable polycarbonate, we have a completed greenhouse roof, which means we can get on to the other projects that need to happen before we plant our fall garden, which means we're going to be busy, at least for the next month. You're going to get to see me build a 25-foot long planter box that will be split in half, with the front half having a bunch of, well, maybe peppers and maybe some basil, and then the back half being all of our tomatoes. In fact, we might mix it up with determinate and indeterminate tomatoes, but the goal is to get the most tomatoes we possibly can. We also have several other projects in the works, including some interior boxes in the greenhouse, so we can expand our growing capacity into the winter, which will include a bunch of alums like onions and things like that, even garlic. In fact, I have some elephant ear garlic that are ready to go in the ground right now, but I've got it kind of on a pause. We'll show you some of that next week. Anyway, thanks for checking out today's video. I truly appreciate it. And for those of you out there who've stuck through this for the very many weeks it took to do, I just want to say thank you. Now, and if you didn't see part 1 of fixing the broken greenhouse, it's listed right up there. On that note, everybody, thanks for being here on That Garden Place.